Nice set of Bhangra, and we're coming back to mainstream Bollywood. Please, if you have any requests, please send them my way. Loving seeing all those comments out there on the Facebook. This is my first time actually doing something virtually, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm so happy to see all the
Hello to the viewers of PILUPU TV. Nowadays, it's been really hard to remember what date it is because of whatever is going on. Everybody is at home. There is no difference between a weekday or a weekend. You're not meeting anybody to know what's going on around the world, except that we get thousands of messages on WhatsApp and all. In all this doom and gloom and all this uncertainty, there are some little specks of positivity going around in the community that, again, we may or may not know, and that's exactly why we have this program here today. We have our dear friend, Toby, and he goes by the name DJ Utobia, who runs a entertainment business called MMM Entertainment, and he is here to talk to us about what he is doing to spread happiness around, using his own skills and talent. And we want to converse with him for some time and share his thoughts and see what we can do for him or what he is ready to do for us. All right. So Toby, hello, how are you?
Hey Vikram, doing well. How are you?
Hey, I have a first question to you. I know when we were discussing about what you do, you said you run a business called MMM Entertainment. Can you just talk about what that MMM stands for? I'm kind of curious here.
Great question, Vikram. So MMM stands for Music, Masti, Memories. So I've always been in love with music ever since a child. And I strongly believe that music has a power to, make people happy, heal things. Whatever happens in our life, there is always, music involved with that, right?
Right.
And, people host parties to celebrate, and they want to have a lot of fun, and must be, right? And as an entertainer, like I primarily think of myself as an entertainer, not as a businessman, but it is a business. And my goal always is that anybody who comes to these events has a lot of musty because of my music, and I want that to be an unforgettable experience for them, and I want to make sure that they make memories. So that's what is MMM, Music Musty Memories.
And how long ago did you begin this?
So I've been professionally DJing for the last 7 to 8 years. And there's an interesting story behind that. So my wife and I had started a charity organization, and we used to host New Year parties as a means to, collect funds. And we were sponsoring orphanages across India. So our challenge was that we couldn't find much DJs who could play South Indian music. All of them were Punjabis or Gujaratis, and they had no idea about South Indian music. And my clientele at that time for doing these New Year parties were at least 70–75% South Indians. Tamil, Kannada, and we just couldn't find, and even if you give them the songs, they have no idea of the context when to play which song.
Right.
I said, you know what? We tried a couple of DJs. I said, you know what? I can do this. And I started doing small parties, and it took off. People loved the fact that, I could blend, Telugu songs with mainstream, Bollywood, and teenagers and kids, like graduation parties, they like a lot of American music as well. So that's right. So about 7 years now.
So there is always a method to the madness, right? It's not just you go there and play something. You need to know why you are playing what you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to understand, what is the needs of the customer, just like in any business, right?
Right. So when you select the kind of songs, like you just mentioned that there is a uh, program, there's a logic to the way you sequence all those things. So what do you focus on? Is it the genre that you focus on to match the occasion, or is it like you go with the old songs and slowly walk through the years and come to the latest songs? How do you go for that?
That's a very insightful question. So there, I do a lot of research. A lot of research. So I meet my clients multiple times. So I'll give you an example, right? So for example, let's say it's a Sweet 16 party, right? And most of the time for a Sweet 16 party, it's the parents who contact me. So
Mhm.
questions that I ask is, what is your vision? What are you trying to do? How many guests are coming? Is it primarily for teenagers or are there parents? And are you doing it a very traditional way? And by traditional, I mean American way or traditional Indian way. So that helps me understand, what kind of music to select for that. And the other thing is, I definitely make sure that I talk to the Sweet 16 girl because teenagers, they have a good taste of music and they know exactly what their friends look for. And I make sure, and then I also ask them, hey, if you have any favorites, send it to me.
Mm.
Um, I also ask them, what are the songs that you don't want me to play? A lot of people would tell me, don't play Macarena, don't dance. So it's important to know. So that's how I prepare. And I always keep track of, all the new music which is coming up. I love music. I'm always listening to music. So I think that's how I prepare. But the one interesting thing is I don't go with the designated playlist to the event. I start with songs that I know are definitely people going to like, and
Mm.
see, what kind of music are people reacting to, and then take it from there. And then room lo chusinapudu chala parents unnarankondi, then I'll definitely play some music from the parents era as well.
Right.
And then a lot of time grandparents are there from India. So I'll definitely play some, NTR, ANR, Okalaila Kosam, for example. Gets everybody on the floor,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just have to mix it up and see what's working. There is no secret sauce, right? There's no
Right.
bullet. You just have to try and experiment. I think that's all there is to it. Yeah.
So if I may ask, for my own curiosity, in the last 1 year, let's say, let's not go beyond that. We get thousands of songs every year. Which songs are the latest trends now? Like, what are the songs that many of your clientele say, yeah, I want that? Is there any one or two songs that always come up on the top of the list?
Yes. So by genre, I would say in Telugu, Rowdy Baby has been like
Oh yeah. Okay.
famous, right? I mean, that definitely rocks the boat all the time. But it's interesting that people listen to music from like 4 or 5 years ago, and they actually enjoy dancing to that as well. So when
Mhm.
point is, although there is people, or some people like the latest music all the time. Sometimes by looking at the crowd, I can understand, okay, if I play all the music that just got released like in the last month, uh, most of the people may not know the music. So sometimes you just have to know, things that will definitely work for that. And, that's where experience comes in.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So
So one thing I'm a little worried right now is with all this pandemic happening, I think in the next 6 months or so, I don't know if there's going to be much new music.
you almost hit on what I was gonna ask you earlier in the little chit chat that you and I were having. I said, um, how do you match the occasion to the list of songs that you're playing? And obviously, at this time, given how the world has changed, right?
Yeah.
There is no denying that the world has changed. And the occasion is not anything celebratory out there. It's quite gloomy, but you still want to keep the positivity out. So how are you approaching it? What is it that you are doing for yourself, for your friends and family or your client or anybody out there?
Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting. Thank you for asking that. So a lot of my events have got canceled. A lot of my events have gotten postponed. Typically, my contract says that, like, if you cancel an event, you lose the deposit money. But these circumstances, everybody's affected. So I've actually changed. I proactively reached out to all my clients and said, "Hey, I understand what's going on. So here's what we can do. So if you postpone the event to some future day, I will honor that, and I will be happy to play music at whatever event that you're having in the future." And I think you just have to be flexible. You have to be human first.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I'm doing. I also saw that, especially in our area, right? Till June, they've already made the social distancing rules in place, so we know that there are not going to be any events. And I also see that people are missing meeting their friends or going to happy hours, and all those occasions are not there anymore. So I wanted to do something. So yesterday, I'm sure you heard of it. So I launched something called like a virtual party. So yesterday I did from 6 to 8 p.m. on Facebook. We also partnered with Million Mask Challenge. I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes, but it started with fun, but then I said, why don't we add a few more alphabets to fun, which is fundraising, starts with fun. So we did that yesterday. It was a lot of fun. So we started originally for a 2-hour goal. It ended up becoming like 2.5 to almost 3 hours yesterday. People had a lot of fun. It was a very interesting experience for me. So to answer your question, what am I doing to help the community, to help the society? I think music has that power to boost people's ego and make them happy and take them to an era where they're happy.
Right.
So I think I used the power of music yesterday. I spoke through music. I was also, it was interesting because normally when I'm DJing, I'm seeing the body language of people. People are making requests. That whole vibe is happening. I have eye contact with people. I was missing that because I was on the iPhone and I was DJing right here. So this is my home studio setup. I was DJing right here. Then I was encouraging people, hey, send me requests. Send me, put your, like button, hit the like button, hit the heart button. So I'm seeing that you guys are enjoying. And I played tons of the requests, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Started with 200 people, and towards the end, I believe there were like 300 plus people, and there were 1,200 views in total. So that was very, very good.
So how did the fundraising go?
The fundraising went well. It went well. I think it met my expectations. I basically told people, hey, I have a virtual tip jar, and which was a GoFundMe account. I found that there is a group in our area, in the Washington, D.C. metro area, Virginia, Maryland, D.C., primarily ladies who are stitching masks at home. Mm-hmm. They are stitching masks at home. They're buying material and stitching masks. The challenge that they're having is that they don't have some of the parts which are needed to make the mask. So basically, you know how the masks are, there's an elastic band that goes behind, and there's a shortage and stores are closed. So they have to stitch cutting cloth strips of it. And I was talking to a couple of those ladies, and they said, if we could get those elastic bands, drop shipped to us, right now we're making like 5 or 6 per day, but if we get those, we could produce like 15 or even 20 per day. And there's a huge demand because there are no masks out. So this fundraising, we joined hands with Million Mask Challenge. You can look it up on Google. And they are based right here in DC area. So yesterday we raised $500.
Okay.
I spoke to a lot of people, and there are a couple of companies who want to match what we made. So I think it's going to become $1,000. It's interesting that $20 can make 25 masks.
Wow.
Reusable masks. So definitely, old age homes, all the frontline people, medical, they'll be able to use this mask. So I'm super happy that through music, I was not only be able to, lift people's morale and happiness, but also, from the money we raised, I think we are making like 675 masks, which is a good number.
It's of great value in today's circumstances, I should say. And you said virtual DJ. I think I came across that about 3 or 4 days ago. It was just so many news articles going around, and I think it was about DJ Nice who this, and the headline was that former First Lady Michelle Obama joined that, and he was like shell shocked to see her name in that list of people participating. And I think this is something that would catch up, and I think you are on the right side of the curve that's going up. I'm glad you found a way to contribute as well as do what you do best in these situations. And I hope that, I think everybody in the world is hoping that the situation will get better as soon as possible for everybody, not just for our own lives to get on the track, but just for the sake of everybody's health and prosperity, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for doing what you're doing. And I think our viewers should also make a note of the website that Toby was talking about just now. And please go out, talk to your friends. And if there is anybody else who is doing any such kind of activity to help the situation, help yourselves, help your friends and family with the least of the cost that you can do, please do it. And I think that's almost the need of the hour. And we should be thankful to our friends like Toby, especially our first responders, the people in the medical professions, and anybody. Even now, I mean, we are sitting at home, we are all at home, we're doing all this stuff, but there are people who are still bringing the grocery to the grocery stores. Right? What if they're also sitting at home? We're like, wow. So they're also first responders in a way. So let's all be thankful to them. And I want to thank Toby for joining us today. Thanks for your time. And it was good insight into what you do and what music, we always talk about music has so much power. Music has so much power. I think we should also talk about how many different avatars that music can take. Right. And this is another avatar that has taken to help the situation in this way. And some things you don't see and some things just happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's a profound thing. Thank you for joining us, and we will keep in touch whenever you need anything from us, whenever you want to reach our viewers or your friends and family. Please don't hesitate to contact us, and we are so glad to have your music around us. We'll continue following it.
So Vikram, I think based on the amazing response we got yesterday, I think we're going to make it at least for the foreseeable future, do it more often. So definitely want to invite everybody who's viewing to check out my Facebook page. We're going to make an announcement. We put it on Ashburn Daisies and pretty much all the Daisy channels. So most probably we're going to do it again this Friday, coming Friday.
Okay. So Toby Garu, before we go, I just wanted to ask, is there something that you want to convey to our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, these are difficult times. We have to be extra nice to people, really understand, seek to understand first. Yeah. And, even at home, listen to music. Music has a lot of power. And more than anything else, having positive thoughts is important. And it's so difficult in these days where, you think that we are, surrounded by negative news. You turn on the TV, there's so much news. Something that I've been doing is I've cut down watching news, and I actually spend more time listening to music. I think it lifts me up and I enjoy, and I've listened to some old records, vinyl records, and what we can do to reconnect with yourself and spend more time with family. The other challenge is that most of us are working from home, but we have actually social distanced ourselves from our family members while doing that. So it's important to, connect and spend more time, experiment with cooking, just, connect and stay connected and call people. That's the important part. Call people, and people feel so happy when you call them. Again, on that note, let's stay connected, let's stay happy, let's stay positive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shobi. Have a good weekend.